So after accepting all that, if you're still here with me, the next step would be to set clear goals for your personal development. And that might sound like a big task, and it kind of is. It's not easy. I'm asking you to make change. I'm asking you to take responsibility for change. I'm also telling you that you don't need anyone else's permission to do so. So this line of thinking, the way that I'm talking, might be different. It might be out of control. You might have some pushback against it. So the solution to this is to create clear goals and clear action steps, things that are practical and doable. This setting goals and achieving them is fundamental, in my opinion, to personal development, personal growth, self-development. Like it's at the core of it. So like I said before, step one is to identify where you need to grow. Just be honest. Be compassionate for yourself. You don't have to do this with judgment. This is what I need to work on. Just admit it. Say it out loud if you need to, or write it down. Step two is to learn some new information about that. Just do some research, like learning more about your polyvagal state maybe, and how you got stuck and how you're staying stuck. You could go and I have tons of information for you. The Polyvagal Institute is a good resource. Dr. Porges's, his writings are difficult, but largely accessible, I think. If you're into this stuff, you could probably handle it. So learn about this polyvagal stuff if you're into this, or learn about attachment. Or if you're into it, I don't like it, but if you're into internal family system stuff or shadow work or ego stuff, like, all right, have at it. Just learn, go. Then step three is to identify a large goal. So what is the thing that you want to change? So identify, this is what I want my life to look like. And instead of saying I want to reduce my anger, which is fine, you could do that. But instead of saying I want to reduce my anger, focus on what it is, not what you don't want, but what you do want. So you don't want anger. Okay, fine. What is it you do want in place of it? Do you want more calm? So the goal, instead of saying I want to reduce my anger, the goal would be I want to increase how much calm I'm feeling. And then you can even give it a number, like every day I'm feeling calm 0 times per day. And I want to increase that to once per day maybe. So that's like the large goal is I want to feel this more often. Or maybe, improving your relationship satisfaction, improving communication with your spouse. But that's kind of the bigger goal. What we want to do instead is to break it, and we want to have that, keep that, but then also break it into action steps. Things that you can do that are measurable and that are achievable, things you can do to reach that larger goal. This will help you to stay on track, I think. This will help you to measure effectiveness, and it'll give you something to work on every day. Instead of just saying, I wish my life was different every day, you can say, oh, I'm supposed to do this action step. So let's say your goal is, I want to live with more calm and stillness in my life. The action step could be, I will start each morning with no electronics for 1 hour for 1 week. So give it a week maybe. Be very specific about what it is you want to do, and maybe even more specific about when that takes place each day. So that's the action step, and then hopefully it leads to the goal of living with a bit more calmness every day. But it might not. That action step, maybe it's too much for you, or maybe it's just not effective. Maybe it's a bad action step for what you want to accomplish in your larger goal. And so taking smaller, mindful steps toward personal growth is very important. And what I mean by this is, and this is going to connect to step 4, which is to try it out and then adjust it, or attempt and adjust, I'm calling it. So this is basically, like I said before, personal growth is not a one-time thing. You don't just do it in one day, right? This requires consistent effort and dedication. So small and mindful steps, I think, are key to that. So step 4 is attempt it and adjust. So attempt the action step and then adjust it as you need to. And that means you kind of have to do so mindfully. What I mean by that is, as you try out whatever the action step is, ask yourself how you feel about it. Okay, so let's say you go with the action step of existing without electronics in the morning for 1 hour. Some questions you might ask yourself, if it's working or not, just ask yourself, does this feel more good or more bad? I mean, just to put it in like super simple terms, does this feel more good or more bad? You could ask yourself if you like it or if you dislike it. Super simple. To make it a little bit more complex, you could say, does it feel more calm or less calm? When I sit in silence for 1 hour every morning, do I feel more or less calm? Or Is there another emotion that comes up for you? And is that emotion tolerable? Or you could ask yourself, does sitting in silence for 1 hour every morning help me to breathe easier and to think more clearly? If so, then you're probably starting to make steps toward your larger goal of feeling more calm, which is in place of feeling anger. Now, if you find that your action step is ineffective, maybe you do it and you say, no, this is more bad than good. This is more dislike than like, and I don't feel calm when I do this. So that would be an ineffective action step. So you come up with something different. So the goal could still be, I want to live with more calm and stillness in my life. But the revised action step could be, I will start each morning with no electronics for 30 minutes. Maybe you drop it down to 30 minutes. Maybe an hour was too much. Or revised action step B could be, I will walk for 10 minutes every day before my lunch. Maybe movement is a better idea for you. So that 10 minutes of mindful walking might bring you closer to calmness than, having silence in the morning. These little steps should be approachable and tolerable, but they should be challenging. You might have to step outside your comfort zone a little bit. So do so in ways that are challenging but manageable. And then as you master it, let's say you do that 1 hour per morning and it's great. Then you might want to extend it 30 minutes or maybe keep it the way it is and then add on that walk before lunch every day. So you want to make it a little bit more difficult.
This podcast is not therapy, not intended to be therapy or be a replacement for therapy. Nothing in this creates or indicates a therapeutic relationship. Please consult with your therapist or seek for one in your area if you are experiencing mental health symptoms. Nothing in this podcast should be construed to be specific life advice. It is for educational and entertainment purposes only.